this is the first year that like we're gonna go see like 4 or 5 movies in one year. That's also nuts.
I'm
So
very, very jealous. Here.
I think that's really in Steam Deck. We haven't talked about it. Other people have, but that they rose the price $300, and due to still their limited stock, they still sold out. Nobody talks about the limited stock, but they were like, "Oh my god, it went up $300, and then it's still sold out." Well, yeah. Well, also, they didn't have even half the units of before.
Up and at 'em, you unequipped urchins of an unrelenting universe. This is episode 62 of the Geekoid podcast, and you are listening to myself, Eric, and my bestie, Jarrad. And we took a little bit more time than we expected from the last episode, but happy 1 year anniversary to the Switch 2.
Happy anniversary! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
So I haven't been playing my Switch 2 as much as I would like. I think you've gotten a little bit more wear out of it, but it looks like there are quite a few games either dropping, have dropped, or coming right around the corner.
Yeah. So the 4 games I wanted to highlight were Lego Batman Legacy: The Dark Knight. It's getting an average of 8 out of 10. They did something I've never seen before. Normally, Lego will do like a movie trilogy or whatever, like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, but they even added in Rocksteady's own Arkham games into this whole little Lego Batman universe. And even like the way that you would like kick and move and do somersaults and flips like you would in Arkham. It's really fun, dude. So I'm really excited to hopefully get that one day and then play it maybe with Katie. The other game is we have 2 IPs that are just so unique, and they did such a great job in translating them into video games. And Indiana Jones, which we knew about, that's finally to Switch 2, and it's getting good reviews on the Switch 2. So we're really seeing that the hardware and the software are pliable. They're workable for such a small system.
And another game that's coming to Switch 2 that's been out is the second part of the Final Fantasy VII trilogy remake.
Which looks really good. The trailers look really great.
Yeah, I've been playing it on PlayStation 5, and I've been very much enjoying it.
That's awesome. So that one's coming out, which already got, rave reviews. 007 First Light came out, and IO did it, man. They got a 9 out of 10, and
it made a splash.
It's a banger on the Switch too. And the last one that I don't think a lot of people are talking about.
I didn't know about it.
It's from the same people who did Shovel Knight. They're very much invested. I can't remember the company right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue. But they did Mina the Hollower, which is, think of family-friendly horror, like Stranger Things type of thing, with Zelda, Castlevania, and Dark Souls elements. And that sounds intriguing to me. It also sounds extremely hard. They got a 10 out of 10. And these are the same people who, what I was saying before, they love that NES and Nintendo feel. So a lot of their games have that look and that feel, but kind of for a new, modern player base. So Mina the Hollower, I don't think is one to skip on. It's not one to push to the side. Go check it out.
Yeah, very cool. It looks so different. It's definitely got that 8-bit retro vibe to it, but looking at some of the animation and the way the game plays, it definitely feels modern in a lot of ways. So
I guess the music is crazy good. And the mechanics take some time to figure out, and they did some of the stuff on purpose to limit you at first and how you're going to, amp up that anxiety, but also give you that challenge right off the bat. It looks really good. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and one more thing related to gaming. You called out that there's a Pokemon fossil museum at the Chicago Field Museum right now, which that just sounds really cool. And if my kids were older, I would make a trip to go see that.
What if other people who are listening are in that area or can, take a weekend trip? Go see it. It's a cool blend of showing you real fossils, from all over the world and of different time periods, land, air, sea, that kind of stuff. And then having these beautifully sculpted renderings of Pokemon that are also like fossilized. So I can't remember the dinosaur, which is super cool, but they have like this giant life size, whatever it would have been in the real world, 8 feet tall or whatever. Fossilized version of that in many other Pokemon. And they have the real stuff next to it. And Pokemon and Nintendo took the time to have the creators and designers write little blurbs like, this was inspired from a real life creature, and here you are, and here's that example. Check it out on YouTube to get an idea, and then go. Also, there are exclusive Pokemon and Pikachu, Adventure Pikachu stuff at the Field Museum. So if you are a Pokemon fan and you want some very exclusive stuff, it's going to be there. They did say in one of the videos that if you can't make it to Chicago, there should be a website where it will show it traveling to other historical museums around the United States. So be on the lookout for that.
All right. Well, moving right along, you want to talk movies for a second? Did you go see Mando?
No, I did not. I was going to, and then life and work and all that. So I did not. It's gotten not great reviews from critics, but it has gotten good reviews from the people who have gone to see it. Again, kind of cheesy popcorn, whatever. So I think fans and other passerbys have liked it. Critics are meh about it.
Yeah, but it's absolutely been tearing up the box office. Two pretty indie movies, Obsession and Backrooms.
Well, Backrooms, yeah.
And
talk more about that.
I haven't seen either, but they look really, really intriguing. Like Obsession is just a new take on a horror movie where it's not all just jump scares and blood and gore. It's actually like a real kind of psychological mess with your head kind of horror movie. And then Backrooms is just a breath of fresh air. It's based on this like 4chan or Reddit thread or something, and the creator made like a short film and put it out on YouTube, I think. So that one's around this whole concept that just like there's these back rooms in behind stores and stuff, and they're unexplored and weird things happen, and it looks really cool. So.
My biggest takeaway on Backrooms is the director, because he's pretty young and he's mainly a YouTuber. So I think that's a neat, after all these years of these amazing people who create, 5 to 8 minute, videos, but every day, which I would still call movies. They still have to edit and splice and cut and color grade and figure out a story, to these people who are doing amazing cinematics of all kinds of stuff. Mainly I watch outdoor and adventure type stuff. So I love that this came to the public, and the public came in droves for this, I think, to really advocate for potentially a new line, a new generation of filmmakers.
And the thing that has me encouraged is that, who's filling the theaters? It's the younger generation.
Yeah.
So I think there is still a future for cinema and for movie theaters in general. And that has me excited and optimistic for the future.
Me too, man. Me too.
Yeah. Which
Someone
means we'll probably keep getting movies. Yay.
Yeah. And if not, it could be new outlets. I mean, we've had YouTube for a long time. If you've lived under a rock, there are just millions of super duper talented people on YouTube. And for them to have a shot at theater or even streaming, like that's like bigger, Netflix and Disney and all that, and Apple. That is crazy cool.
Yeah. But you're headed to the theaters tomorrow, I hear.
Yeah, we got tickets to see Masters of the Universe, so stay tuned for that. What time is that? I think we're going a little early, 4:15 tomorrow, Saturday. What are we recording this? Friday the 5th, so I will be there Saturday the 6th. And it's gotten probably the coolest mix of reviews I've ever seen. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10. He's a stickler for movies, and he totally understood the content and how they kind of joke at the original IP content, similar to Barbie and whatever. And he said they nailed it. They didn't take themselves too seriously. The music was good, especially you have like ex-Queen, guitarists and instrumentalists like doing the soundtrack, which is nuts, which adds to that like vibe. And then other reviewers have been like, "Oh, I thought it would be better, even though it's still cheesy popcorn." The one thing every reviewer has said is the way that they did the CG and the suit for Skeletor and Jared Leto's portrayal of Skeletor is like the best. He's funny. He's funny. He's evil. He's a little scary. And then all of a sudden there's this weird ego narcissism, which was also Skeletor, and Leto nailed it. Nailed it.
I mean, I didn't expect that, but I guess if you order up Jared Leto for a role, you're going to get pretty reliably a commanding performance. So, okay. I'm not going to run out to theaters because I can't. Not really, but I'll definitely check it out when it comes to streaming. All right. Where do we want to go from here? I know we
could talk about just quickly, and then I think we move to Apple. Steam Deck raised their price $300.
Oh yeah.
So now we're talking a minimum of $949. It shocked a lot of people because $300 A, and B, everybody kind of thought Valve would be outside of this and do their own kind of independent thing, but even they got hit with tariffs and taxes and then I think
it's not a good time to be building and importing electronics.
No, and there's even certain RAM that costs even more, and it's harder to get a hold of. I can't remember, HDM I think, or HDR. It's like a high or HB. It doesn't matter. It's a very complicated die where they mush like 3 to 5 layers on top of it, so it makes for an even harder yield. You get a lot more bins and broken copies, and I think Steam Deck uses that. Unfortunately, really awesome, but very hard to produce RAM. And so, and even with that, I don't think their inventory was as big as it has been for the last couple of years. It's still sold out, people poo-poo like I am right now. But if you don't have a choice, people will unfortunately pay the price. And even right now, I don't know if you go on the website if you would be able to buy one currently.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website right now and no dice. But what also hasn't come out yet is the Steam Machine, which has been delayed. It's supposed to come out, I believe, in Q1. I think they were targeting March, if I'm not mistaken. And it's now June, and we still don't have one.
And they're being really hush-hush. I think they're more doing like an Apple or Nintendo where you'll find out when they tell you.
Yeah. So we'll see, and we'll see what the final price comes in at for Le Steam machine. But we had a really interesting week this week in terms of computer hardware news cycle stuff. So the week kicked off with the GTC Taipei, so the Taiwanese graphics technology conference hosted by Nvidia, and so Jensen Huang got up there and basically announced a new generation of Windows hardware and PC hardware. So he announced the RTX Spark. And so this is probably the biggest change to PC gaming and just PCs in general in, I don't know, a decade, 2-3 decades. So those who don't know, it is an entirely new chip that is going to power PCs and laptops for the Windows universe going forward. So it's built on the same ARM architecture, so not x86, that kind of Apple's been using for, I don't know, 5, 6, no, about 10 years now.
10 years, yeah.
But it's a similar concept where you have shared RAM across both the CPU and the GPU. And what was a foregone conclusion that if you were serious about getting a laptop, you would just get a MacBook Pro, that's no longer the case, because there are some really fly-looking laptops that got announced at Microsoft Build and at this GTC keynote, and man, do they look impressive. I don't know what I'm going to do come later this year, because I was planning on buying a new laptop, and I'm really torn. I don't know if I'm going to go Apple or go Windows, which is a weird thing to say.
Yeah. When you told me earlier, I was like, I don't know how to take that.
Yeah. Based on the initial performance benchmarks, it looks like the MacBook Pro will still beat out this new line of Windows machines in a lot of ways. But the one thing that has me kind of really curious is how this new NVIDIA Spark is going to do when it comes to different really high performance computing workloads. So for those who don't know, CUDA is one of the hallmarks and foundations of a lot of high performance computing. It's the ins and outs of kind of NVIDIA's chips and how to program them and get the most out of the hardware. With MacBooks, you have to go through Metal, which is the graphics kind of programming layer on the MacBook Pro, or on all Macs, I should say. And so there's this difference with this new NVIDIA RTX Spark, is that CUDA is baked in naturally because it's an NVIDIA chip. And so if you want to run CUDA workloads, it just happens natively. You don't have to go through this Metal layer. And so I think it will be more performant for those types of workloads. So TBD on where the final performance numbers land. But you know what? We're just a few days away from Apple's developer conference.
Yeah.
And man, the rumor mill has been working overtime.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it.
I think the last video I sent you, it was probably this morning, because I thought I was going to have to work last night. And I think that YouTuber, if anyone wants to follow him, he is Apple Track. He does not produce a lot of content, but every time he does, he has good sources and good short videos that really detail what's going on in the Apple world. And he, I think, squashed a lot of people's rumors of, well, what kind of hardware? And he goes, well, first of all, and even I would say this, it's a developer conference. It's software focused first. They have announced usually the super high end hardware, your pros and studios and stuff like that. But this one's really going to focus on cleaning up all the OSs, adding some nice little tweaks to Mac OS, and really a push of what they've done so far with Gemini's current foundational architecture to make a Siri 2.0. So a lot of cleanup and a lot of showing how new chatbot agents are going to help, and also, you know, assuming they're going to keep their promise that this will all happen much more locally on your devices and your systems. And but if you wish to or if you choose, you can reach out beyond that to go to other data centers and potentially, whatever information you want to share with them. So that's exciting. They're going to even revamp a lot of the apps to have the Siri functionality. And one of them that a lot of people are looking forward to and very curious, interested how it's going to work is a pretty revamped camera app where, similar to how you can do widgets and create them on your phone, iPad, or Mac, you're going to be able to custom design the camera app, and then Siri will be a focus, right dead center for additional help and leverage of editing, color grading, and stuff like that.
Interesting. I'm trying to imagine what that will be like, and I'm really struggling. I guess do you have to then go into taking a picture with an idea of what you want and then describe the outcome before it takes a picture, or
I think that's it. Or it will do, if you say nothing, it will just create something. And I'm assuming Apple has done it a long time with their machine learning. The more times you do it and maybe you tweak it, or the more photos or videos you take, it starts to understand even, oh, you're doing this mainly outside. A lot of the times me, for example, you're in the woods, you're hiking, you're camping, you're overlanding. And so allegedly, what I'm assuming is that even if you're not telling it anything, it will learn your style and your environments and start making tweaks even over time if you don't tell it right off the bat.
all right, cool. I know one of the things that people are really kind of waiting to hear about is the new Mac and Mac Pro, because if you want to get one of those specced out, you're still looking at the old M3
If
chip,
you're
and
looking at the higher ones, yeah. If you're so I think for you're looking at the super hardcore,
yeah,
you know, and
one
I'm looking
terabyte
more.
of or 512 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I'm looking more at the home stuff. So the new HomePod Mini, the new Apple TV, and um, allegedly, and Gurman from Bloomberg has said repeatedly that it's ready. They're just waiting for Siri 2.0. But I'm curious about the new Home Pad, which allegedly is more of a 7 by 7 inch screen, but it can maybe attach magnetically to a new version of the Home Pod.
Interesting. Okay.
So I know you're curious on your end for the super ultra professional stuff, and I'm curious about the new home entertainment stuff and how they're waiting this long. So that's another part of like what part of Siri 2.0 and chatbot and agents and that will they're holding us back. What are they going to show us? What's going to be the new big that's going to break my bank?
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things that's really kind of they've been waiting for this new Siri 2.0 to get good enough to really tie it into everything. And so, it's kind of make or break for Apple going forward and with what happens the next week and over the next few months as we get into summer.
I got
So,
a question. I got a question for you. So HomePod Mini has been done for a while. The new Apple TV has been done for a while. It's still way up in the air, but it's getting closer to this Home Pad alleged. My question for you, because I was thinking about this, is if you've created something, even if it's a spec bump, whatever it is, like a new chip, an S9, an A17, whatever, um, does that hurt Apple? Because I don't hear like stocks of like, well, they have inventory of things that are ready to be out, or does that not hurt them that they've they've created this stuff. I guess they've paid the people, and now it's just holding. I mean, they still got $4 trillion. So
Those are products that are not super paramount to the success of Apple. So I don't think it matters too much to them. I mean, it sounds like they're still manufacturing the older generations, and maybe they're just tightening up the supply chain a little bit and not carrying as much inventory as they get closer. That would be my guess.
right.
But I don't think it's not weighing on Tim Cook's conscience.
No,
That's for
not at
sure.
all. Yeah, no.
Especially with one foot out the door. What do you think is going to be really the biggest thing to look for from John Ternus as he steps into the CEO role in the next few months?
How we've talked about how, he's much more a meticulous hardware guy. I mean, there's the, famous story of him looking at the back of iMacs or something, and the screws weren't the right screws that, to make it Apple and give it that finish and that fit and that form. So, and then he is very much in with the software. I think he kind of had to a few years back. It was like an interim role, but then it's been an interim role for like 3-4 years or whatever, where he helped with a lot of, I think iOS 27 and some other software. So, but I think he's, first and foremost hardware, and he works hand in hand with, I can't remember the guy right now. I think his name's Johnny, for the M series chips and how that's going to grow with, the software and Siri and AI and stuff. So he's pretty, I say he's mainly hardware, but it keeps going back to the software. And Apple is very much a one-stop shop. The software, the hardware, they've done it even more over the last couple of years with, their modems and their thread support. And it's just, I don't know. I rambled on and said all that, and I don't know, Eric. I think it's going to be fascinating, though. You'll still have Tim, helping with supply things. I guess my dream, because I don't know, my dream would be like, do we see not like a Johnny Ive type of design style, but there's a weird gut feeling in me that kind of says like we might see some very innovative things coming out of them. I mean, the Fold is innovative for them, maybe not for the rest of the industry, but they're trying to do something extremely unique that other people have not done. And
Well,
the
the
Air wasn't.
Fold, I think, is probably going to be maybe like a one-up compared to what's already on the market from Samsung and others. I mean, that's just my guess, is that
Which is always been Apple's way too. Like,
yeah.
We watch, we wait, we watch, we wait, and then we produce something that's like, holy God. And then everybody, follows suits. Then next year you'll see everybody else change up. So, he also helped with the iPhone Air, which it didn't get a lot of sales, but those people who bought it really loved that camera. And it was a whole new way of looking at the hardware and how do you put it all together and even change the major components to just be on that top plateau. So I think we're already seeing it, and it will happen. I think we're going to see more innovations coming very soon from Ternus.
Well, I think the one thing that everybody's waiting on is these new Apple glasses. So taking everything that the company has learned through the creation of the Apple Vision Pro and turning it into a lightweight consumer device to compete with what Snapchat and what Meta has. And I think that's the big thing that's coming on the horizon. I don't think it's going to come this year, though, because
No.
reports that I've seen is that they haven't hit the hardware benchmarks that they've been trying to meet, and namely around weight. Is that it's just going to be too heavy, too bulky, and that's probably the main criticism or complaint that I have with the existing lines of glasses from Snapchat Meta. It's just like they just look like a little too unfashionable for me to for me to get a pair.
Yeah. I do like Apple's idea that, they're gonna redo the AirPods to have camera sensors. It'll be another option. So it's not like it's gonna take away from the current AirPods 2 and 3s. But I like, and again, this might be Turnus and his team more so than Tim, but you have all of the, you've got your phone, you've got your watch, you have the AirPods, you're going to have the glasses, and they all work together to help you see, understand, be informed of the environments around you. And I think that's an idea that other people might have been talking about, but it hasn't been publicly, addressed or or talked about.
Yeah.
I think that is interesting. And again, I go back. This is an idea that, maybe we can claim to Turnus as being a advocate for this.
We shall see. It's gonna be one heck of a summer when it comes to products and everything dropping in the near term and medium term. And the latter half of 2026 is going to be fire.
Yeah,
I'm
so
so pumped.
you just remind me. Yes, and is so WWDC Dub is happening June 8th, so here in just a few days. The beta or whatever, what do you call that, Eric? Where certain individuals finally get to have it's not a public beta, but it's like
Preview?
a developer beta of Siri 2.0 is going to come out. So, and there are lots of YouTubers who pay the money to be in that know, and they'll buy another iPhone or iPad or Mac so that, anything doesn't get bricked or messed up. So
Yeah.
we'll start hearing initial news of this Siri 2.0, hopefully, cross your fingers, within the next week.
It's exciting. It's very, very exciting. I will be completely honest. I've been thinking about my next phone, and if Apple doesn't just blow me away, I might be switching to a Google phone.
Wow.
Yeah.
It took me all these years to get fully into the Apple ecosystem, and then my bestie is like, yeah, I've been there. I've done that. But it'll
we'll see.
give different stories. You can talk about all the other stuff, and I can rant about Apple still.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything that we missed. There's a number of things. PlayStation had a huge event where they announced a ton of new games. I don't know if you saw any of that.
I did. My only critique immediately is that it was very little from them.
Yeah, it was their events for their games.
Yeah, but it was I felt like,
I mean, it was all first party.
Was it all first party?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's cool. But I felt like, we saw, I don't know. There was something else I thought of. There was like a 15 to 20 minutes of Wolverine, which, by the way, we've all said is going to be awesome, and it looks great. And then it was 15, 20 minutes of something at the end. That's a lot of time to fill for a state of play.
Well, they announced a ton of stuff. They announced an entirely new God of War game, which has the internet up in arms because it's not featuring Kratos as the main character. It's featuring his wife, Laufey. Laufey? I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
And then we got Until Dawn 2. You mentioned Marvel's Wolverine. A few other things, but I mean, those were the big ones that really were stand out.
Were there any that you thought you were like, I don't know if I can I could totally buy it. I don't know if I'm going to have the time to play it, but were there any standouts that you were like, oh, I'm interested in this game?
Yeah. The new Silent Hill has me really, really intrigued.
Me
So
too.
Silent Hill Townfall, which takes place in a little Scottish village in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and I haven't played a good horror game in a while, and I think maybe that would be a lot of fun for when I have a late night, just watching the youngest try and sleep. I think that might be fun.
Yeah.
But
There
first, I got to
wasn't an
finish Final Fantasy VII, which is going to be another 20, 30, 40 hours.
yeah. Even Mina the Hollower is like 30 hours. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
man.
not a small game. It is not easy. So yeah. They're all, I mean, 007, I think, is 30 hours. Indiana Jones is 30, 40 hours. Yeah.
All right. Anything else before we wrap?
I just remembered, uh, COD is coming to the Switch too.
Wait, we're
And
getting fish on the Switch too?
we're getting fish, the cheapest fish you can buy, but it's so thick and flaky and delicious.
Full of protein.
Yeah. Call of Duty is coming to Switch too, and I don't remember the last time any Call of Duty has ever been on a Nintendo console.
I don't think that. I think it has, but so this is
Can't
Call
remember.
of Duty Modern Warfare 4?
4. That's correct.
So the thing that has me excited about this is they've said that they're going to get away from all the ridiculousness with the customizations. So that's one thing that's really bothered me. It's like you have a military shooter and people are running around with pink M16s and like,
yeah, it looks like Fortnite. And you're like,
Yeah.
why?
I've always been frustrated by that, and I just have always found it a big turnoff. So to see them taking this new approach, I'm excited for it. Maybe I'll pick this one up. It's been a while since I've gotten a Call of Duty game.
If you do, I would be interested in getting a copy, and then you and I getting
Ooh.
our asses handed to us, because I don't
Okay.
think I can't handle the time and the effort and the energy you have to put into Marathon. I love that game. I think it looks, and I watch videos till the cows come home.
Well,
But
we can
good
talk about
God.
Marathon very briefly because they just had a season reset. So season 1 ended, and basically it was fun. I got to play a little bit today, just to try out the new maps and the new game modes and whatnot. And you log in, it's like your vault has been reduced, and the funds have been transferred to X, Y, and Z to pay down your corporate debt. I love the world building that they have around this whole season wipe. So yeah, all the progress you made, all gone. All the weapons and guns and items, all gone. I was hearing reports that people were they were all playing the same map, and everybody would just bring all their loot to the middle of the map and just dump it into one big pile because it was all going away anyway. So I really love the community in Marathon. They just do some really funny shit sometimes, and I'm here for it. But yeah, there's all new game systems and a new mode for one of our new. So there's this map called Dire Marsh, and it's a good map, but there's a night version now. And it completely changes the dynamic. There's different bosses, different objectives on the map, and it's a bit of a horror vibe.
I was thinking, like, is it like zombie mode?
Not quite, but there is one mode where you just join as one team, and there are no other teams, which is weird for an extraction shooter. But the entire lobby, or it's like they just fill it with rooks. So rooks are just individual players who are joining, and so it's basically your team against a who knows number of rooks, and there's only one exfil point at one time, and it's just you against everybody. And I haven't played it yet, but it sounds like a ton of fun, and just the entire concept of this dark map. So you have a flashlight now. When I spawned for the first time, I was like, holy crap, I can't see anything. That is how dark it is.
No.
Yeah, it is really shocking. And so trying to run around without the flashlight on, like, it is really tough in some areas. And it's obviously a tactical decision because you can see someone with a flashlight
Yeah.
hundreds of meters away. And so it's just a different take. It's a lot of fun, and it's good to see the developers at Bungie just continuing to innovate and try new things. And I'm here for it. But yeah, if you want to pick up Call of Duty when that comes out, I can totally drag your ass through because I'll be playing on my PC with a mouse and keyboard, and you'll just be do.
Hey, man. I'll be on the Switch.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to go get my kid from daycare, and I think you have something you got to get to. So it's been a shorter episode, but still a fun one, if I may say so myself. And you know what? Next week's going to be a banger of an episode because we have all that juicy WWDC news to cover.
Yeah, and I can talk about my take on Masters.
Yes, that too. I'm interested to see what you have to say about it. So, thank you everybody for tuning in. We're recording on Friday, so by the time this comes out, it'll probably I don't know if I'll get it out over the weekend, or maybe worst case scenario comes out Monday. But like, subscribe. There'll be a newsletter coming the following Friday.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. You're not going to want to live your life without it.
A banger.
So thank you everyone for tuning in, and from myself, Eric, and Senor Jarrad, it's another episode of the Geekoid Podcast. We're going strong, people.
Geek out.
Geek out.
End of transmission.